Today, we're gonna find out if Expedition Agartha is worth your money. But first, what is Expedition Agartha? It's a hardcore multiplayer first-person looter survival game where you load into a game, you loot, you kill, you die, or extract. It's comparable to Escape from Tarkov, Chivalry, with Sea of Thieves style graphics. The game launched into early access the 18th of August in 2022. When you load up the game, you'll spawn in some sort of safe zone, an island where you can pick up quests, buy items, do crafting, a stash of findings, and so on. In EA, you have two characters that you can play with. A freebooter, which is basically a low-risk character where you can go into a game, loot and extract with low risk with a randomized gear. As a mercenary, which is basically a main character, you prepare a gear set, you go in and you do whatever your objective is, like questing, killing, or just looting. I gotta admit, for the long run, I feel like more content has to be added because it can get kind of repetitive. A reason for that might be a lower player base. I do run into players, but I feel like it's not as often as I'd hoped it to happen. Let's talk about the devs' activity because I feel like that's an important aspect of reviewing a game. Until now, the devs have been updating the game frequently enough to showcase their influence and love for the game, which gives me hope that this game might actually become something good. Of course, it's not where it needs to be, but I can see this game grow if the devs listen to their community and add new content on a regular basis. You can also join their Discord if you like to. I'll leave the link in the description. Also, I cover games in the most honest way possible, which should be a decent enough reason for you to click on that subscribe button. Now, in my opinion, the graphics are good. Of course, it can be polished a little, but we should not forget that this game is fairly new in early access. There's a good amount of weapons that you can use, from one-handed swords to two-handed swords, crossbow, maces, axes, and so on. You also have different tiers and different rankings, from grey all the way up to gold. And when it comes to armor, it goes from light to heavy, and of course when you use heavy armor you get penalties in speed but also more protection. And when you use light armor you have less protection but more mobility. I guess we all know the basics. I do like the fact that there's rare items because that kind of sparks the enthusiasm when you find something rare. There's a lot more that you can find in game, for example, foods or armor and weapon enhancements to give your armor more protection or you take less fall damage. There's a lot more to it, but I'm just giving you the basics of the possibilities in Expedition Agartha. Let's talk a bit about the combat. I have encountered a couple of players where I got into a fight with, and I gotta say it feels pretty intense. It's kinda like who outsmarts who. The weapon influences the damage you do, but I feel like it's balanced pretty well because somebody with a worse weapon could still beat somebody with a better weapon if he plays right. You have stamina that you need to pay attention to because if you run out and your opponent still has enough, you're fucked. To sum it up, the PvP feels nice. I do feel like they could make it a little bit more intricate when it comes to the options you have to attack somebody or to block or parry an enemy's attack. It just gives you more options and it broadens the way a fight goes. But outside of that, I'm pretty happy with it. Now, the AI in EA works pretty well. I think they've done a good job for an early access game because they don't feel clunky or glitchy, it just works. It goes from zombies to boars, rabbits, goats. I think you also have AIs that are called freelooters. I have even encountered a huge woman which was pretty hard to kill. Looked like a boss to me, but if it wasn't then it was just a huge woman, I guess. So now that we understand the basic construction of the game, you're probably wondering if Expedition Agartha is worth 20 bucks. And that's a good question. And at the end of the day, that's what this video is for. So honestly, you never know these days if a game is gonna have longevity or not. That's mainly because devs care about the money more than the actual game. And as I said, if the devs keep updating the game and add more content to it, I feel like it could be pretty successful if people decide to buy the game and expand the player base as well. Because most of the people interested in this game eventually want to kill other players, but for that you need other players. Without them, you're just killing NPCs and that's gonna get boring really quick. One thing I forgot to add, you also have 3 maps, 1 free map, but for the other maps you need certain items to be able to play them. Not as in pay to win, but you just need to find them in game, so don't worry. I guess that's it for this video. If you like what you see, please hit that like button, comment down below, and click on subscribe to never miss a survival game. Who knows, maybe one day I'll put out a video game and you'll enjoy it for years. Did I just say fucking video game? I'm a boomer. Here's a video I think you would like to watch if you're looking for a new game to play. Have a good one, people. Peace.